So the 7 o'clock, call the meeting to order. Passing around warrants.
Did we not get minutes?
We did.
I
They
didn't
were
get minutes.
sent out
I couldn't find them.
the 23rd. They were sent out yesterday at, oh, I don't know what time.
Yesterday?
Yep, at 10 o'clock last night.
They're late.
What, the minutes?
Yeah.
Yep.
That was from last Wednesday.
Right.
You're not late. Oh, you mean late in the day?
Late in the
Yeah.
night. Yep.
Yeah, I know. Yes, I know. So tonight,
I wonder
if you
why
guys
I
look at
couldn't
previous
find 'em.
minutes,
Yep.
we're actually looking at the 10th, the 11th, the 19th, and the 3rd.
10th, 11, 19, 3.
So there's 3 standard budgets,
Okay.
and then the regular, which is on the 11th.
Okay.
23rd they were sent out?
So those are
Yep.
all the minutes to be
You want me to
considered.
forward them to you, Terry, or?
I sent them to you, Jared, last night.
I'm looking for them because I looked for them and
Yeah,
I
I've
couldn't
got 'em
find
right
them.
23rd.
Is it the Comcast one, Terry?
Yeah.
I just sent it again.
Okay.
Hey Josh, it's Todd
Do you
Foster.
want them
Hey,
hard
Todd, how's it
copy,
going?
Terry?
What's that?
Good, I'd like to bring up I apologize, I got a cold, that's why I'm not there tonight. I'd like to bring up a point of order on the meeting you held on the 19th.
Yep.
Put that down as executive session from 4 to 5, thereby the public would not be allowed. You guys went into non-executive session, which is a violation of open meeting law by not allowing the public to have input in that meeting. So I would ask that you reschedule that meeting so the public can have input.
I mean, you can read the minutes, Todd. The minutes are completely all ready to go on the website.
And I read the minutes, and you guys chose not to go, but you advertised that as an executive session, thereby the public cannot attend. It should have just been advertised as a budget meeting and then gone into executive session, and that would have been legal, and people would have had a chance to participate. Or you should have waited till 5 o'clock at the public meeting and held that meeting. Not doing so is a violation of the open meeting law for the state of Vermont.
Okay.
Not trying to be a pain, but it's just gonna get you in trouble down the road.
Yep. I'm gonna grab my book, Todd. I wanna double check, just to.
Yep.
Did you find the minutes, Terry?
No.
All
No.
right, do you want a solid copy? There's one hanging on the bulletin board.
For the 19th there.
Sure.
Is that what you're looking for?
Yeah, I didn't
Here.
get Josh's
I
either.
got it right here if you want.
You didn't get mine either?
No? Or at least it hasn't come in yet. Okay. Thanks, Lance.
Yep.
see anything here that says that if a meeting is warned as,
What he said.
Yeah, you guys had warned the meeting as executive session, then the public could have logged in at that point. And because you warned it as an executive session, the public knows they're not allowed to be in those, so no one logged in.
Did anybody log in at 5? Nobody even logged in at 5.
Nobody logged in at 5, Todd.
That's
and,
not even,
Yeah, and we
You know what?
were
That
still,
doesn't matter.
That
Open
has
meeting
nothing
law
to do
is
with
that
it.
you're supposed to allow the public to have access to all your meetings.
well, look
That
on
can be fine,
YouTube.
except those in executive
YouTube, you
session.
can see the whole
When I
meeting.
looked at the minutes, the only ones that were there were you guys, the road crew, your town clerk, and your treasurer.
Yep.
So the public was not invited.
At 5 o'clock it was, and nobody came.
Right. You guys held your meeting from 4 to 5, which is an illegal
No,
meeting.
we went till 6. It was like 6 o'clock when we finished.
that's a mute point. We
It was
did
another
not run
hour,
the meeting
and they were
correctly.
still discussing the same thing.
That's a mute point, Tammy, because we did
The
not,
But the
only thing I
meeting,
can say
the
is that
topics
did
of the
not-
meeting were discussed from 5 to 6, which was open meting.
Yeah, the only
No,
thing I
we
can
started
say
at
is
4
that the
o'clock.
meeting Minutes, video minutes are
I will,
available to the
the
public.
secretary, I will go to the Secretary of State, or I will go to the Attorney General's office and ask them to look at this.
I'm not arguing with you, Todd.
I just think it's unfair to the townspeople to not give us say when you're talking about things. We've done this before. If it's an executive session, that's fine. If it's not, we should have open discussion on things. And this did not allow that.
And that's right. When you go into executive session talking about me, I should be invited there, and for 5 or 6 meetings,
I agree that. I am not hollering because you guys were there. I'm just saying the public wasn't allowed to be there.
And last year, it was even voted, a decision was voted on in executive session, which is a violation of executive session
no, we didn't.
for the
you should make a
insurance.
decision.
You
That
went into
wasn't-
executive session after the guys had already decided with the guys that they weren't gonna pay the 20%. You were upset, you went into executive session after the
We
meeting.
didn't make a
You wrote the
decision.
minutes,
We did
for
not
that
make a
part.
decision in
and
executive
that
session,
decision was
Tammy.
the guys had 20.
We did not make a decision in
we haven't,
executive session.
we haven't made
Mr.
any,
Chairman?
yeah,
Mr. Chairman, I would agree with Todd on this, that it was not correctly warned.
Right.
And the perception that the public may have had was that they were not allowed in that session. I would absolutely concede with Todd and go back and schedule the meeting this week if we have enough time to do so, and squeeze a meeting in to review that information that Mr. Cosgrove has a question on. I believe transparency is the nature of our business. If we're not doing it, we're not doing the job.
Thank you very much. I'm not trying to cause trouble, but it is that transparency that we need people.
yeah, no, I wasn't disagreeing with you, Todd, I was just checking my fancy book of rules and regulations, I just wanted to make sure that.
I don't believe anybody was arguing with you, Todd.
So, the only thing,
Not if they're talking about you.
Yeah, I know.
the only
It
question I
actually got brought
have,
up that night.
huh?
We discussed it that night that we didn't warn the meeting right.
Right,
did.
yeah, we
Yes, we
did,
did.
because I wasn't sure, and no, I guess I should have checked the book then, but there's nothing in this book that says if it's warned as executive and you opt not to go to executive, what the procedure is, so, yes, I agree.
I think we should err on the side of caution here, and with all due respect to Mr. Cosgrove, that is his right to make a complaint, and I would have started with the League of Cities and Towns, because they're a bank of lawyers that covers this like paint, so, if I could make a motion, or at least a suggestion, Mr. Chairman, that we do schedule a meeting to cover those issues that we didn't have an executive session for. That's beside the point. The warning was the legal record of what we were going to be doing that night. And we need to rewarn it and rerun the meeting, that portion of it, if I'm not mistaken. I got, okay.
Yes.
Yes, I would agree with that. Thank you.
So it says it requires 24-hour warning. It's 7/12, which means if we wanted to have it, oh crap, I don't know when I have stuff going on. It needs to be done no later than Wednesday, correct?
Depends on what you're doing. Is it
Wednesday through Friday?
It depends on whether we're making a decision.
I don't know why
or
we weren't it
solely
as
discussing.
executive anyway, because we can go into executive anytime we want to go
Right,
in.
but the reason we warned it as executives
So
because we
people
were-
wouldn't show up and have to go out in the hallway.
Right.
But-
Which, you know,
The reason we decided
It would be
not to
better.
go into executive was to try and maintain transparency so that everything we discussed was available to the public.
So
However,
you
we
just
did not
add
do it
to the
as-
agenda
as
now and move on?
Todd said, we did not do
Yeah,
it
add it to the
correctly.
agenda now.
I
You
don't
got
know.
other,
well, because it wouldn't be warranted
And it's
as.
not on our agenda.
but it's, you
It
can
is,
do
'cause it's
other.
budget.
It wasn't budget, it was the road crew. And I don't think we had that one. What's our,
What did our,
Just do it under other.
I don't care. If you're gonna have another meeting that's gonna affect my warnings, I wanna know when we're gonna do it.
yep, I understand.
If we have another meeting, it doesn't necessarily mean that we change our decisions. It just means that we're disseminating information.
Okay. So as long as I'm gonna have
So-
a meeting, a warning.
A meeting for the
Agree with
sole.
that, Lance. I
Pardon?
disagree. I think you've got to give the public some input. You can't make that decision arbitrarily without listening to us. You guys sat in those chairs representing us, the public.
Mhm.
You shouldn't make decisions on your own without hearing us and getting our input. That's what we voted you into those positions for, is to represent us, the people. Not you personally, your personal decisions, your personal feelings, or any of those things.
So us, the people, is who show up on Zoom?
it'd be your tax,
So the 4 people that
It'd
show
be
up on
the-
Zoom?
it'd be the taxpayers, Tammy, that we
I'm a
represent.
taxpayer.
That's
If-
right.
if-
So we represent you too.
Exactly.
There's,
And John?
I don't understand,
Matt?
I don't understand why you're getting so hostile.
I'm
This
not
is-
hostile. I
You
just
are.
think it's kind of ridiculous. It's all on YouTube. You can see the whole thing.
I just don't understand, when we're doing your employee handbook and all that other bullshit, how come you went into executive session and I was told to leave? It was about me and my crew. You told me to leave. Josh said, can he stay?
Because we don't have to have everyone in executive session. It's
If you're
invite,
talking about me, I believe you do.
no.
Personnel.
You don't have to have personnel in there when you're in executive session. It's up to the board
If we're
whether,
talking about that,
whether you want to or
It
not
says-
want
it
to.
says-
If it's disciplinary,
If it's
if it
disciplinary.
directly affects them, then they're supposed to be there.
That directly-
And it's
Like
with
I said,
invite.
we're gonna have another meeting, but I need a warning too, so we need to figure out when you're gonna do it, and then we can move on.
So you have to
Right.
post a warrant, right? So.
Post a warning for 7:15 tomorrow.
For,
7:15 tomorrow, so she still has time to, we still have time to,
warning for 7:15 tomorrow to
For a special meeting.
special meeting of the select board.
that gives us 24 hours, correct, Todd?
Does,
Yeah,
Yeah, that's perfect. And I would just ask that someone put that on the town website so people are aware, give them the
Yeah, yeah.
optimum.
It has to be posted.
Our entire idea to not do it by executive session was to maintain transparency. We didn't do it correctly, I agree with you. But that was why we chose not to go into executive session.
Yeah, no, I understand that. I just would be very careful on how you warn your meetings in the future.
Okay,
And, I think
Understood.
that-
understood, we made a mistake and we're willing to admit that.
so I guess my question is if we had gone into executive session, came out at 5 o'clock, made the same meeting,
You were
made
still
the same
discussing the
decision.
same topic at 5 o'clock and nobody signed in.
No, I'm just saying, would it have,
It's a moot point.
yep, okay. So, all right,
We need a redo, and I don't think you need a motion.
no worries, we got
What
it.
is it?
Yeah, we already have it because we have it warned for tomorrow.
January 25th, 7:15.
I would also put the reason in why we're having a special meeting, specifically to give people the chance to have input on what we did decide, so that those people who were not there, and I'll try to get it into the town forums as well so that people can have the opportunity, perhaps to review what they didn't get to see. Okay, thanks, Todd.
So it's being warned as public forum for, what?
Exactly what the other one was warned for.
The wages?
Correct.
Wages for road crew.
I just had that up here, yep. Because that's what it was warned for in the executive session.
And if you want to put a caption underneath that, say, we made an error in calling an executive session in the context of the warning, and this is to absolutely give people the opportunity to comment on the discussion that ensues.
This is how it was warned for that meeting.
Alright.
Just so that everybody's on the same page. That's how it was warned.
Yep.
So it's just gonna
We
be
just
changed
hadn't done
to,
the executive
we're just gonna
session
delete the
piece.
executive session and 7:15 to.
You have stuff in the chat.
Excellent.
This period of the meeting.
You just have to read it out loud so everybody's on the record.
I can't quite read it, John.
Melanie says, I agree, it does say on the agenda that the executive session was 4 to 5. Savannah Riddle.
Mhm.
Then
Okay,
they
ready?
thank Brenda, that sounds great, Melanie.
This is reading, Tuesday, January 25th, 7:15, agenda, public forum, employee wages for road crew. This period of the meeting was warned as executive session for January 19th and was held in public forum.
Instead of,
Yep, that's fine.
That is correct, that's exactly what happened.
Okay? We good?
That's all we need.
Okay.
And yeah, Brenda's saying thanks, Tom. So all that's ready.
Yep. Perfect. All right.
You satisfied, Todd?
Oh.
Yeah.
You happy? Okay, thank you.
And I don't think he was necessarily unhappy, he was just making sure that we were
No,
following
I
the
agree
laws.
with it. Well, he was saying, he was correcting us, we made an error, and that's what
So the
people like Todd are supposed to do. You're supposed to keep this straight and narrow.
Where- No, I've lost today's, agenda. Got me all flustered over here, I can't find anything now.
24.
There we go, alright. Alright, previous
You
minutes.
got it?
We're going to hold off on the 19th as we're correcting a wrong. So we have a majority of minutes that have not been accepted due to either not having a quorum that were present or not having another meeting since those. Has everybody had a chance to look them over?
I have.
I'm not receiving any of them. I don't know why I can't, it's not coming on my email.
Do we have the correct email for you?
I don't know, that's what I'm wondering.
Right here. Is that the correct
Same
email?
email that I've always had.
Yeah, that is my email.
I just forwarded it.
But you
Maybe
just
it should've
forwarded
gone.
it, didn't come either. So I don't know why not.
Which one are you looking for, Terry? Let me try forwarding it from mine.
Any of them. Josh just tried it and it,
It didn't forward either? Okay. Well, all right, reports and warrants.
Your junk is back here.
Let me.
Warrants.
let's see.
Do we not have, finance tonight is just from the budget paperwork, is that correct, Tammy?
Say that again?
So Terry, let me know if you received that one from me, okay? I just sent it, it'll take
That is
a
what it's
bit.
doing right there. Okay,
So
so
what
in
you need-
spam,
What you need to do is make sure whoever your contacts are actually in your contacts,
She's-
and they won't. end up
She's
in
received
your spam.
stuff that I've sent her before,
okay.
so.
It's because it went in spam.
That'll do it.
You spammed it.
Add her to my contacts.
I do have the school warning.
You did?
I have the school warning now.
Oh, okay. Did it just come in?
I printed it, their book. Want to see what our school budget
I'd
is?
hate to see what it is. Oh my God. That's ridiculous. We need to think about getting out of that Act 46.
I'm not even.
We just gotta figure out how we,
Cargill salt, is that normal price? I'm just curious, is that,
$75 a ton now.
it's on par with what it was last year?
It's a
That's
little
not
bit
on,
cheaper.
It's a little cheaper.
I think last year we were
don't let it go anywhere.
When I look back at the tonnage, it seemed like the slips are almost identical. We had one.
All right.
For all-
No, I'm just curious.
We
I'm
vote.
just curious, man.
Yeah, no.
We're usually around.
The price stayed almost identical, if not the
Did
same.
you wanna see, did you wanna see this year's education?
The worst thing is that doesn't even count things for the Richford.
Okay, so,
Sheldon, Bakersfield.
Holy.
Jeepers. Jeepers is the word you're looking for.
Mother of God and,
Alright, so,
Josh just passed this to me, I've got to read it. Shall the voters of the district approve the school board to expend $18,210,889, which is the amount the school board has determined to be necessary for the ensuing fiscal year.
And we educate less than 140 kids?
Holy,
he needs that
But
back.
that's not just Bakersfield.
Right, that is Bakersfield, Sheldon, Berkshire, Montgomery.
I'm sorry, but that is my response. That is up considerably from last year. Oh.
Alright, so, in going on with budget,
Thought I wasn't sleeping because of this budget. No, really not sleeping.
reports and warrants are going around, finances. We can go through and compare, or not compare, go through last year's book of votings and let us know if anything has changed or staying the same as being stricken from the warning, okay?
Please do, I think that's a good
I
idea.
think that's the easiest way to do it. Brenda has the verbiage for Article 4 that was voted down last year, was authorizing the select board to appoint a town clerk this year. It's not the town clerk, but the treasurer position. And you have the verbiage on that, correct, Brenda? And that's being sent through. That everybody is in agreement that that is being put on the list, correct?
To be,
To be an appointed treasurer position. With the same agreement that if the voters vote somebody in, they will be appointed for the first term.
You have the verbiage?
you have to
there?
appoint them
I don't,
within,
Brenda has
I've
that.
got it right here if you want to read
I
it.
think
out.
you have to appoint them within
Or if you want me to read it.
45 days of,
Yes, that
Right?
is correct. Yep. But we would appoint who the taxpayers voted in.
correct,
Yes.
correct.
Okay, the next one,
Do you want me to read that?
no, it's the same. It's just.
It hasn't been changed to Bakersfield yet.
Right, it's just a
Same
different, it's just a different article via the, legal section, is the only thing that's different. Yep, section 2651, and this is section,
But it's different.
251F, this one's E.
Yep.
That's the only difference.
Yep.
Yep. Perfect. Article 5, taxes due October 3rd. Same day as it always is. Article 6 is, shall the town authorize the select board to set a tax rate, as it always has. I would assume that one's staying.
Yeah.
Number 7 is the anticipation of tax loan. If we so need to apply for a TAN loan, it's the taxpayers giving us the right to do that. This is where we had talked about combining some. As we're going to Australian budget, or ballot, sorry. Just talking, the truck payment is not something that we can vote down. So I believe that that should be moved right into the road budget anyway. It doesn't change anything, it's
Well,
just,
what if your
Well,
road
they
budget
can't.
gets turned down?
well, then
You
that
can't.
that amount would just not be, that's non-negotiable. We don't have a,
We have to pay it.
right.
Yeah,
So what I'm
absolutely.
saying is if
That's what he's
if
saying.
this is added to this and this gets voted down, well, this amount is non-negotiable.
Oh, I see what
You
you're
know
saying,
what I-
yeah.
you know what I mean?
Okay, yeah.
Um,
But since we've never, I'm just playing devil's advocate here,
Yep,
Josh.
absolutely.
Since we've never done that before, people might say, well, what the hell is the road budget jump so much for?
So, exactly, so my suggestion was to do something along this lines. Shall the town, blah, 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 X number of dollars to include, you know, that includes winter, dirt, paving funds
Uh-huh,
of matching, bridge repair, oh, excuse me, I can't speak,
no, you're,
truck payment,
So you're gonna do like bulletins underneath it?
bullets underneath,
of
it
what
tells
the
everything that
total
it
ends up
covers.
being.
yeah,
Yep, so, you know, it may come in at 325, 45, that's not in there.
and all I have to do is go to their town report for further explanation.
Right, so it would come in at, say, 410, but it's also including 115 that's not.
And then
That's
we're
other.
excluding about 6 other points of voting.
Right.
So
So you-
I think that's a good idea.
They've, in the past, last year, like the equipment repair was voted in 236 to 31. Equipment was voted in 237 to 31. Bridge repair was voted in 237 to 20. Paving was voted in 242 to 24. And the road was voted in 213 to 51. I don't think by lumping them all together, as long as it's described as what you're voting in,
Right,
is
so
gonna
they
cause an
know.
issue. It's just,
It's gonna
To try
shorten
to
the
cut
ballot.
back
it would
on the
it
ballot.
would shorten the ballot, correct.
Okay.
Is anybody here?
And we
or-
have the opportunity to explain that in
In-
our
in
informational
the
meeting.
informational meeting. And I mean,
Okay.
it'll be right there also, you know, when, I don't know, we just wrote it in as roadwork, so you have roadwork, but then paving, you know, you could put paving, 10,000 matching grants, bridge, 10,000 matching grants, and, you know, so it'd be completely it'd be completely transparent.
Yep,
It would just be one light item instead of 7 to vote on.
I'm for that.
Okay. Does that make sense? Is there any suggestions or qualms from, Zoom world out here? No, not seeing
So
any?
the only question I have is, what's the contingency if it gets voted down?
Just like you would if the regular road budget was voted down, you go back in and look at where you could make cuts if,
The trouble is, at this point, it wouldn't be quite so simple as it would be on the floor, where you could negotiate it right then and there. Now, we have to set up an entirely different voting day.
right?
That's the only thing I'm saying, like, it's great that you're putting it under umbrella, it may work, but in this Australian ballot type of format, you may be really causing yourself a headache if somebody,
Melina,
yes?
I assume
No,
that's,
go ahead, unmute.
sorry, Melanie, no.
Hi, this is Savannah. I just was hoping that you could explain why you were thinking, and maybe you have a reason that's totally fine, but why you were thinking about lumping them all together. I remember receiving that ballot last year and thinking it was a little odd, because I actually probably would have said no to one of them.
Actually, it's not as odd as you would think. Most towns do it that way.
Okay, well, I only live in the one town, so I don't know.
No, Bakersfield is always explained in minute detail what we spend on everything, whereas most towns give you a single number up the top. This is our roadwork budget. This includes all the dirt, all the salt, all the fuel, all the truck payments and everything. Boom, that's it. One single line.
Can we do multiple lines? Like, why not?
We have in the past. We were considering shortening it up. That's why we're looking for your input.
I would personally rather see multiple lines. I prefer the detail.
You do realize that if you get the town report, the annual report, it is all broken down in there.
Yeah, I prefer to vote on the individual lines.
Okay. Thank you for your input.
Yeah.
Linda, what say you? I can't believe we don't have an opinion on this.
Who?
Linda.
Oh, Linda?
Yes, when I went to log in on the 19th, you folks were already done. And it'll be interesting to see what the next meeting on that subject brings up.
Okay. Moving down the list here, the dispatching fees.
So what's the decision on that?
I mean, as far as an ease, you know, as far as getting it, voting on it, tallying, the ease of it is to lump it together.
Mm-hmm.
I think the truck goes in there no matter what, because you don't have a say on it. You can't vote no to pay a truck payment. That's not even an option.
Was it separated out just so people know what the truck payment was?
Yes,
It was.
absolutely.
But it could still be, you know, as an
I don't
itemized-
have problems either way.
It's
I think
the only
If it is what people are used to and accustomed to, and that, I don't have a problem leaving it that way.
the only difference is counting the ballots.
Exactly.
And it's going to take quite a bit longer to count the ballots, but if that's what the people, the town of Bakersfield wants, they want it broken down so they can see it visually right here on the ballot, then we'll
So be
spend
it.
more time counting. What do you think, Terry?
Yeah, I'm good with keeping it.
Are we in agreement that number 8, the truck payment, should go in there? Or is that gonna stay out anyway? I mean, if they vote that down, I mean,
You gotta pay it anyway.
yeah, we have to pay it.
We have to pay it.
Yeah, I
It's
don't
going to
care
come
if
out
you
of
want to
somewhere.
lump that one
I
and just
mean,
keep everything
that one
else.
doesn't, yeah, okay. All right, going down through the grants and revenues, that is part of our job. If we receive grants or any revenue, it is our job to.
That's a given. We don't technically have to ask the voters for that permission. The select board has the authority already to spend grants
All right.
and donations.
So asking that is just an extra line item that doesn't really,
Yeah.
again, you can't really vote it down. It doesn't really,
Is it because of the amount?
no, because there is no amount.
No, but that a grant would come in? I mean, the school always asked that same thing, and that's what people would argue the longest about at the end of the night, was whether they wanted to give us permission to accept a grant.
I don't think they asked for it anymore though.
They don't?
No.
Okay. So
Um,
maybe it doesn't have to be then.
Another one that we really don't have any say over is the dispatching fee. I feel like that one could easily be put into the general expenses. And, I mean, it's a set fee.
All right.
We can't vote it down, otherwise our fire department has no communication, so.
Well, it's fire department and ambulance service.
Correct.
And police department.
Right, so I kind of feel like number 16 on there can be lumped in with the general expenses of the town. Again, just trying to make this a little shorter so that ease of operation for this year's voting, as it's all gonna be done by Australian ballot. The Brigham Library is staying the same. We did receive one from the Historical Society. Their number dropped from $10,000 to $5,000.
Did we ever get the library?
Yes.
Yeah.
The library was emailed to us that night.
Oh, okay.
Yep. and Maple Grove, so those are all the same. And then the only ones that would change on this back page, these are the ones that we went through the other night. And just if there was any that weren't here that we added in, would get added on.
Right.
So that helps with that. I'm gonna bring this to you, and did you get a chance to read the warrants?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, sir. All right, so next is our visitors.
But can we complete that before tomorrow night's meeting?
No, that's just,
Okay.
that's just how many items.
Okay.
That's just items, not numbers.
Gotcha.
The only one, we can go over the
Yeah, he's still
town.
Did we have more positions that we had to put on there that we usually vote off the floor?
Do we
Or
have
is
more what?
Kathy
If we do, Kathy would have
positions?
them. Kathy has all the vacancies.
You know, like the ones that we did off the floor?
Right.
Okay.
So that was the
That's
first
first
two
constable,
sections.
second constable, collector of delinquent taxes, grand juror, town agent.
There's
that's-
no longer a town agent.
We don't need that one
No,
anymore.
that's been repealed.
There was another one too that was got repealed. What was that one?
Well, hospital committee, I contacted the Secretary of State's
Yeah.
office and said, what is this position? And they said, we have no idea, there's no statute for it.
Yeah,
And I have nobody that's running for it, no one ran for it last year. When I called Lisa Maynard's house, she told me that Lisa was not interested in running for it again this year. So we would have positions to fill for a job, we have no idea what it is, and there's no statute for that committee anyway.
So we can get rid of that one too.
So, but on the ones that are off the floor that we usually vote in because someone gets nominated, one library position, there's no one running for. There's a planning commission that is normally Australian ballot, no one is running for. I think there was one more, can't remember what it was.
constable.
Obviously constables, we
Yeah.
never have anybody for that.
Anybody
Oh,
ready?
auditors, we have nobody running for the two positions of auditors that are running, or that are open.
Either one.
Well,
So we're,
one is 2 year of a 3-year term because it was Jason's that was
Yeah.
up and he doesn't live here, so he couldn't run, but we appointed him because he knows the job.
Yeah,
The other one was Courtney's, which was up this year and she resigned.
so who stayed? Nobody.
nobody.
Well, Pat DeBevick, she's just not in town
She's-
right now.
Okay.
But her term is
Pat-
up next year.
DeBevick has no intention of coming back until such time as her mother
Right,
isn't
right.
under her care anymore, let's
Right.
put it delicately, and she's gonna stay up there until such time, and then Lord only knows how long
Right.
that'll be.
So, but again, her term isn't up until next year. So,
Right,
Okay.
and even then, she's questioning whether she's gonna come back full-time.
So maybe that's something we can even bring out in our informational meeting,
Yeah,
letting townspeople know that these,
absolutely. We need somebody
they're
to fill
pretty
those.
important positions
It
and
is
we
a
don't
very
have anyone
important
doing them.
And at that point,
I don't feel
mean,
qualified to fill it, do you?
No.
No.
if someone wants to run an active running campaign where, rather than everybody put their name down, would be
Yeah.
great,
Yeah,
you know. It's better to have one person that really wants the job than to put, oh, I think my friend would like it.
right.
Who's Josh?
So if you know any auditors,
Mm-hmm.
we need two.
We need 2 auditors.
At
Yeah,
least.
that's what, yeah. So we got the rundown of all the vacant positions.
Yeah.
I'd gotten that one also.
Yeah.
So, next order of business. Visitors, fire department with the ambulance decision, ideas, suggestions. Matt, can I get you to come up here to the table just so we can?
You have a copy of that?
Oh, what's that?
In case we choose to
Sorry.
go there.
Right. So, you got a meeting, sir.
Yes, Matt Hall, Bakersfield Fire. So to start out, there's a couple other things I wanted to toss by you, run by you guys before this. So kind of highlights, updates of what the fire department's been up to. We had our elections in January. Unfortunately, we weren't able to do our holiday meal like we usually do. Thank you, COVID. I'm still chief. Couple of changes below me. Todd is now the assistant chief, first assistant chief. Ginger Parent is second assistant chief. Secretary is now Scott Flagger. Our EMT captain is now Dylan DeVra. I don't know if you folks have met him or not. He's
I have not
relatively new and going to be a very large asset to this community. He is going to be our first paramedic on Bakersfield first. He's actually going to be starting to work with Enosburg fairly shortly.
What's Dylan's last name?
DeVraw, D-E-V-R-A-W, I believe.
Devereaux.
Yeah, there you go. Couple of highlights of the year. We were able, finally, we got a water line into the station. So that was great fun. So we got a 4-inch water line that comes into the station. We're gonna be able to fill trucks. And we're gonna have garden hoses and water at our disposal, something we're not used to. So that's kind of neat.
Nice.
Still waiting on a couple of fittings for that, but it's pretty well, it's done. The only thing we got left to do is walk across the street, turn the valve and see if water goes where it's supposed to or not.
Or everywhere else.
Yeah. As you know, we did our golf tournament this year and that was a big success and hopefully next year we can do that again. So getting on to the topic with Cambridge, so we met with Cambridge. You there, Todd?
Yeah.
Okay, we met with Cambridge Tuesday evening. Great group of guys there. Nathan, we fielded questions to him for an hour or more. They've got a lot to offer. They're a very good agency. They run half the calls that Enosburg does. They would offer training for the department that would put us in a Region 4, offering a few more options to the first responders as well as the town members. A little bit more pain meds on board, 65% coverage of a paramedic. And the irony of it is, Todd and myself, we were kind of blown away at this. We did a Google of how long it takes from Jeffersonville to Bakersfield, and boy, it's almost neck and neck, within a quarter of a mile. So the response time isn't as much of a worry as it originally was. All of our members would essentially become on the roster of Cambridge. They would take over all the training, and that's a huge plus. That would offer us a lot. The upsides are all of that. The downsides is they're a little bit more expensive. Hands down, that's what it is. I know that Enosburg has come back with a 5-year contract, and Enosburg has never let the town of Bakersfield down. They never have, and you're gonna have the same problems with Enosburg as you do with Cambridge. They could get a back-to-back call and have to call in AMCARE. That's just the nature of the beast, Cambridge could get that too. They could have 2 units up on Smugs, or 1 in Smugs, 1 in Fairfax. It's just, it is how it is. Upside of Cambridge is they don't do transports. So they don't have to worry about an ambulance, to UVM or something like that.
Okay.
All in all, it's the comparison between Enosburg and Fairfax, in Cambridge, it's not quite 100% apples to apples, if you will. I mean, at the end of the day, given the fact that Enosburg has offered that 5-year contract, it's probably in the town's best interest, I feel, to stay with that. Ultimately, the decision is yours entirely, either either which way.
Did Cambridge offer a multi-year contract?
So at first, and I tried not to get into that too much with them. I didn't feel that it was the fire department's venue to discuss. And I did get into it a little bit. He indicated what he would like to do is a 1 year out of the box. Let's get used to things. You get used to me, I get used to you type of thing. Work together, and then it would be a 3-year contract after that. He did caution us the rate of increase. He was unsure. He said there could be flatline years, it could be 5 to 7% years. So again, a bit more of a cost increase, but they're,
Looking at $51 per capita versus 32, it's a pretty good increase for basically the same service.
they would offer the subscription fee to the town residents. That would be,
That was about,
I think it's
That was-
$50, Todd.
that was $50.
$50.
So it'd be $25 cheaper than Enosburg. Yeah. So, I mean, ultimately, the decision is up to the select board. And I think Todd would agree with this. We've had a great working relationship with Enosburg and would continue to do so, but we would also welcome, a relationship maybe down the road with Cambridge.
With the training
Yeah,
opportunities.
the training opportunities, the moving into Region 4 would really open up some things, for the townspeople, the
We
opportunity.
did discuss with them the fact that even if they didn't get the contract, we want to work with them in the near future as well. And they said either way, they didn't care, they would definitely work with us.
So they were amenable to continued
Yep.
negotiations.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's a good point, yeah.
Nice. Hey.
But all in all, Nathan was a great guy. He's hands-on. He's very boots to the ground. Todd and I both felt his training, and how he handles his EMTs, paramedics, was very up to snuff, if you will. Do you have anything to add on, Todd?
No, I think you hit it right on the nose. It comes down to cost, really. I have a hard time justifying that additional amount for what we're seeing for the benefits that we saw. If it was within a couple thousand, I'd say definitely it'd be worth the risk, but for what they're asking, I just think it's a little too high.
Okay.
So if we were to accept
Reading between the
Enosburg's,
So read in between the lines.
it'd be definitely in our best interest to keep lines open in negotiations with Cambridge then, so.
I would wholeheartedly agree with that.
Okay.
But Todd and I were both very, very taken by these folks. They're the real deal.
He was well-spoken the other night, and
Yes.
Yeah.
answered the questions to everyone's satisfaction, so
Well, I appreciate you guys going down.
For their organization, he's picked it up when he was very down, and he's trying to move forward to make it even better than it was before.
His goals and his plans for, that facility, the next 6 months, 12 months, 18 months are very cut and dry and very, very boots to the ground. He is very, very,
So he has a vision and he's driven to get there.
yes,
Excellent.
yes. And I believe that he would follow through with that.
That's good.
Did you
Well, thank you for
have a
going
chance to
down
look at
and
their recent,
talking with
most
them.
recent contract offer from Enosburg?
I've heard about it. Oh, I forgot to bring that paperwork back for you.
Did you?
I have not seen the most recent one from the most recent select board meeting, no.
That was the one that was mentioned to you before the meeting that you had Tuesday.
Is that 5 years for 333 and then 22?
Yes.
Yeah.
Basically, in 5 years, it goes up just a tad over $4,000.
Yeah. And it does meet their goal of giving the employees a raise. They haven't had a raise in like probably 7 years. So it gives them a chance to raise it, which would again, hopefully allow them to go after some other folks that may be working in other services where they would come to us for that pay.
Okay. There was one question that I needed answered on that contract before I would feel comfortable signing it. And that was the fact that it states that they will give us a bid 30 days prior to the expiration of that contract if we accept it. That's,
I'd like to see it a little sooner than
I
that.
would too.
Right,
I
that's
was
what-
thinking,
Yeah.
120,
That's
90 minimum.
Yeah, I would be happy to see 6 months.
Yeah, 6 months would be really nice, yep. That was also discussed too, yep.
Mr. Chair, I have a question.
Yep, go ahead.
Did we answer the dispatch budget issue with regard to Cambridge doing their own dispatch?
We asked him that night, and what he said is that we would pay the dispatch fee that we pay now, which covers our department, and anything that happened with Lamoille would be covered by their facility.
There would be no increase,
there
increased
wouldn't be
fee,
anything.
so our dispatching, so Bakersfield resident calls 911, it still goes through St. Albans, and St. Albans would dispatch,
Okay.
Oh,
Cambridge, yeah.
yeah.
So the fees, there would be no increased fees to Bakersfield at all.
And yeah, and I think.
Which is the same with Enosburg, right?
Correct, but
covers-
Enosburg's in our same district.
Right.
We're District 1, I think.
Yeah.
So, but with Lamoille being a different district, having a different dispatch,
It, oh, it'd be
there
two,
would,
they'd,
I think, what
okay.
did he say? There'd be
They
no
would
more than a-
dispatch to St. Albans, right?
Right.
Lamoille would?
Right, well,
Your call would get taken at the St. Albans Dispatch Center. There would be a delay in
yeah,
response to Cambridge, because now they gotta call up to Lamoille and have Lamoille dispatch Cambridge. So there is a slight delay because it's two dispatch centers, so to
A
speak.
couple minutes.
Minute, two.
Right.
Simple phone call.
Okay.
which is
No,
something,
question answered. Thanks.
yep, which is something that if we go with this contract could be, you know, the way technology's going, that could be something that's cured by then, you know, you never know,
Yeah.
especially with the new telecommunication stuff that's happening around here, it could be zero. All right, any others, sir?
I think that's all I
I
got.
just wanted to make sure that in the future, when we do this, that we involve our fire department and
Absolutely.
rescue squad
Yes.
early in the process, not later in the process.
Yeah,
Well,
good
I
idea.
think the key to that is having Enosburg present their information much sooner than they have in the past,
Yeah.
so that we can share and discuss. It all came in such a rush, it's like,
Boom.
Yeah.
From the fire department's perspective, I would like to politely ask that you reach out to Nathan and let him know your decision either way. You know,
Yes.
He took a lot of time.
No,
He
but
was
it is
very,
fair.
very
it's
nice.
very
Yep.
fair.
Yep.
I agree
And I
with
would
that.
agree, Josh, I think we need to ask Enosburg to renegotiate the contract a year before it expires,
A year
so
before.
that you have a chance to get it into the warning and stuff before the actual end of the contract.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, a year.
Sooner's better than
Sooner
later
is
for
always
sure.
better than later. Are they at a position where they could project a year in advance?
They should be able to. We're all projecting when we do our budgets, right? I mean,
Right.
It's our best guess based on past practices.
Right.
Right.
Projected 5-year contract, right?
Well,
So.
yeah. All right. Again, thank you, sir. It's,
I had one other one. Todd's still on board, so he can chime in a little bit. A little deal Todd and I had back in January was I needed to remove some hats or
uh-oh.
shed some tasks, if you will, right, Todd? 911 administrator. So I've been doing it. I've been struggling a little bit with the state dude, Tyler. Getting a hold of him and having him respond now that he's a stay-home dad is difficult at best. Todd has agreed to help me or take it over, or we haven't got that far yet, but I'm gonna be backing off somehow or another, Todd. We haven't figured that out yet. And it's a matter of me getting hold of Tyler. I just need to slow down a little bit on some things. It's the phone calls, the all day long, you know, from Consolidated to Verify stuff is simple for me. It's getting out there. 911 addresses don't happen until I get busy. And then everybody needs them today. Yeah. Nature of the beast. So Todd's gonna help out on that. And I think it's very important that, you know, somebody from the fire department is involved with that. You know, we've encountered a bunch of things that, hey, who, what, when, where, and internally we have the knowledge of it, if you will. So, I guess for now, keep my name on there, and Todd and I will work together.
Okay.
Well, at the very least, we call you up and you'll say, Todd.
Yeah, by all means.
Yeah.
And then the other I had was, we were talking about this at fire station the other night, was town emergency management coordinator.
Right,
Hi,
which
Josh.
was Sam Cribb.
Sam Cribb.
Was Sam Cribb.
Yeah.
He
Is that
resigned.
you now, Josh?
That is a task that the board as a whole is,
Okay, so
We haven't named anybody for that.
okay, so what I would like to see is if it's the board as a whole, that's great. Whoever the individual or the board, I think I'd like to get together with you with the fire department, kind of review, go over things.
that was what I was just looking in there to see if we, yes.
Yeah, anytime we roll out the door, we're rolling under your emergency response plan, so we need to be aware of this so that we're making sure we're not counter to that.
So sometime, like cold weather works good because we're doing a lot of in-house training, if you will, or even a Monday night here, whatever, however the individual or individuals get together, go over the response plan, things of that nature. Do you have anything else, Todd? Okay.
Is there anybody on that could be a member of the department if there was anybody?
Sam's name was still on it last year.
Sam was.
Yeah.
I know he called and resigned shortly after town meeting. Is there anybody on your department that would be interested in that position? I think having somebody who works closely with the fire department, that's why Sam was a good candidate for it.
It worked well with Sam.
If you have anybody that you think might be a good fit and is interested,
Let you know.
have them contact any one of us.
Well, we can talk about it tomorrow night, or what? Are you going to be there tomorrow night, Todd?
Yep,
Okay.
we'll talk about it.
Because, I mean, our emergency management plan, quite honestly, with the knowledge that we have, should follow what you guys think should happen.
Absolutely.
Not you guys following what we think, because
Absolutely.
I mean,
agree with
Yeah.
you
my
100%.
position is let the professionals make the decisions and we'll agree with you, you know? I mean, I don't have the knowledge base to do that, so.
But we'll voice it around. We'll see what we can come up with. And if not, I will let you know.
I don't believe it was a huge time commitment.
No. Who did it before? Brian.
Brian Wescombe.
Brian.
So,
This has to be filed annually, I believe, so we just want to make sure we don't miss those deadlines.
Yeah.
correct.
So I'll get back to you on that.
Excellent.
Okay, I think that's all my others.
All right.
I'm good for tonight.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
welcome. See ya.
Thank you for your recommendations,
Oh, you're
and
very
thank you
welcome.
very much for the time that you've all put into talking to both emergency services.
You're very
Yes.
welcome. I enjoyed, and Todd did too, we enjoyed Nathan. We enjoyed that meeting, and he's a good guy.
Perfect.
All right, see you guys.
Thank
Have a
you.
Have a good evening.
All right. So, Tammy, I would like to give you this contract.
Is that all the pages,
Bird.
Josh?
Huh?
Did I give you all the
I
pages?
believe so. If not, Tammy's actually, it was forwarded to Tammy, I believe, to begin with.
I'm just double checking here, make
Um,
sure I gave you everything.
Could you reach out to Enosburg and ask them to change subsection 10?
I think I did.
It says subsection 10, at least 30 days prior to March 31st, 2027.
Okay.
We would like to see 6 months minimum.
Minimum.
6 months minimum,
Yep.
Todd wanted a year.
Yep.
I know.
Say
Say preferably a year?
yeah, 1 year. If we put 1 year, and the minimum we would go is 6 months.
Okay. Okay, we would like 1 year, but the minimum will go with 6 months.
And if they do that, if they can change that and send us a new one, I feel like that should be a fairly easy change. It shouldn't have to go before the board. If they can do
We
that, then I wouldn't see any
if they-
reason we couldn't
If
accept
they could
that.
respond to her tomorrow, we could do it tomorrow night.
Well, they'd have to change it on their end and then send us a new contract.
That's what I mean.
Yep.
If they could change it and,
Yeah, so if they could, if they could
Email
send
it
that
over.
back to us tomorrow, then we could sign that in at our meeting tomorrow
But
night.
at least, are we all in agreement that we're gonna go with?
I think with
We
the,
need to formalize that. Are we gonna go with Enosburg?
with the discussion that the fire department had, I think it's awesome that we have found another, service, due to the fact of the time constraint. And as Todd pointed out, the financial reasons. I think we accept this contract with Enosburg pending that change. And, with 6 months to a year before the next contract comes in, I think that gives us a lot of, plenty of time for negotiations and looking for new, if not new services, then at least comparing new services.
I think if you read between the lines, both Todd and Matt sent that message to us.
Yes, I agree. I agree, 100%. So, yes. I'm gonna wait until tomorrow to make a motion to accept that contract though.
We have a meeting
Yep.
tomorrow?
We do have a meeting tomorrow. Remember we just learned it
Oh, that's
at the
right.
beginning of this meeting? 7:15.
It's been warned, it's on the website.
on the
Yes,
website.
sir. So that would be, so now we've got a number to fill in there, is 38,000 plus.
Right. Yep. That helps. Road report.
Yeah, nothing.
Nothing? The only road I traveled today that was plowed was Butternut.
do we have our truck back?
Yep.
What was wrong with that?
That's a deaf regen,
Yep.
it's gonna be eventually a recall.
Okay.
We had one, when I worked at camp, we had one of our trucks, it was constantly thrown over.
Right now, they've got it unwired, little sticker in the window saying it's not wired. Mark's just gotta keep the def full,
Okay.
it's running fine, I guess, and it went down 2 weeks ago and it got towed down and got picked up. This week it got driven down, picked up the next day, and they didn't take the wire apart,
Okay.
so it was derated.
And this was for what? I didn't hear what he said.
DEF, the regenerations
The additive.
emissions. It's been a constant problem since the EPA said it had to happen.
Right.
Water.
A
So
lot,
this isn't the new truck, this is
no, this is Murphy's baby
the
now.
Marquis.
Yeah.
All three of them have it.
All three of them have it, but they've come a long ways with it in the
Yeah.
past 2-3 years. How has service been down there since the change of hands?
Good.
Still good?
They seem very slow, put it that way,
Okay,
but that's, might be just the time of game.
okay, alright.
Nowhere.
So Clark's is no longer Clark's, it's now Allegiant,
Allegiance.
Allegiance Trucking.
Well, I didn't hear that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's a national company, correct?
Yeah.
That bought out.
Same people or?
Same people are, all the same people are at Clark's, yes.
Okay.
They bought out, I believe they bought out J&B last year maybe,
Okay,
Uh-huh.
and it was just a matter of,
yeah.
Huh.
And Clark's don't work there either?
Are
You
they
just
still
said the
there?
same people are still.
It's the same management, just
everybody's still there.
different,
Huh?
different operating orders on.
More of a
Yeah,
corporate thing.
yeah, that's what I had also heard from other
Huh.
people that work with them. Any others on this side from the roads? Okay, seeing none. Can review the mail to get us through that.
The only thing I had was, I mean, I guess I could ask it tomorrow night, but we didn't, how do we put monies into their 401k?
It's based on a percentage, it's a matching 3%,
3%
correct?
of
3%?
their annual
Okay.
income.
3% annual?
Yes. Their annual gross.
And that's just the 401k, right?
Correct.
Yes.
And they match it with a 3%?
Yeah.
So,
No, they are not
We
required
match
to
there.
match it.
If they only put in 2, you only put in 2,
We-
but they all put in over 3,
Up-
you
up to
put
3.
3.
We match
Oh,
up to
okay.
Up to
3%.
3.
We're matching up to
Yeah.
3.
Yeah.
And then they can put in whatever they want.
They can put
So
in.
if they don't put in 3, we're
You
not
don't
matching
match.
anything.
You match what they put up.
They put in
If
0.
you put in 2, you would match that person's 2, but they all put in over 3. So you only match up to 3.
So did you just
So
say
do 3%,
everyone is putting in 3 or better?
Yes.
right?
Okay.
American funds or
I think it's American.
American
American
Fund.
Fund.
They've been doing pretty well.
Because we didn't figure that in the other
It
night.
used to be SEI, now it's.
Right, which would be
Okay.
0.3 or 0.03, yeah. We did receive a letter from Avira. They submitted the 19th. We had asked her when she submitted resignation on the 29th, we had asked her if she would be, consider being assistant treasurer. It says, you had asked me if I would consider being assistant treasurer. I've given this a lot of thought. I would be willing to be assistant treasurer for Maria for approximately 1 year. That would give Maria time to see the entire job. At this point, Maria could train a new person to be assistant. We still need to go over property taxes, and when it's closer to that time, there will be a few other things to go over at some point. A number of things factor into this decision. COVID was one of them, although any sickness could be a potential problem. Also, as I experienced an accident at the time, thankfully, I had an assistant also who worked with me through my recovery. I do feel the town should have an assistant treasurer. The town needs a second person who knows the job. Of course, I hope none of these things happen, but the town should always be prepared. I agree with that, and I would.
Well, so did we, but we didn't have a treasurer that could train an assistant.
Correct,
Is why we didn't
correct.
have
Yep.
one.
Nope, I agree. And what she's saying is Maria is learned the job and doing the job well.
Mm-hmm.
But there's some parts that she hasn't covered
Yeah,
yet.
she
and
felt that
just
within 6 months to a year,
she could have.
Maria would be able to train
Right, I
her
agree.
own assistant.
I'm just
So-
saying, that's why we didn't have an assistant. We
Yeah.
had one up until,
What I
They're
think.
gonna be working on taxes in 9 months, so.
9 months, yeah.
Yep.
She wouldn't be able to train completely.
So I make a
Just
motion
saying.
that we appoint Vera Lawyer as assistant treasurer.
I'll second that.
All those in favor?
can I hear what her hourly wage is? I think you gotta put that in your motion.
I think it's the same, isn't it?
I don't know. What was it, 20?
25.
25?
$25 an hour, yeah.
You just gotta add it to your motion,
Okay,
that's all.
sorry. Yep, no, I will edit my motion. I make a motion that we accept Vera Lawyer's, accept, appoint, appoint Vera Lawyer as assistant treasurer. You got me all tongue-tied now. At the rate of $25 an hour for this year,
I
For
will
year
second that.
2022?
2022. That is this year, right?
It is.
Well, I just wanted
Just double checking.
a little more specific on the motion.
Okay,
Okay, I have a motion. I have a seconded by Lance. All those in favor, please state your name and signify your vote.
Edmund Churchill, aye.
Terry Gates, aye.
Josh Goss, aye.
Lance Lawyer, aye.
As Denton is not here, he cannot vote. Motion passes 4-0. That's done there. All right.
Is Denton alive?
I think we covered most of that, but
Yes, we asked for, well, this was when we were asking, I don't know why I'm holding it like that. I'm sure I can read it, it's fine. We asked to use the school for Australian ballot. That is no longer an issue, and we voted to put the whole thing to Australian ballot. So this is also null and void.
as I said, I think we covered everything on that.
Yep. And since we're not doing anything in person, we do not, well, there will need to be a mask mandate. When you come to vote, you will be required to wear a mask.
They're required to come in here with a mask anyways, correct?
That's what I wanted to know. Can I require people to wear a mask when they come in this building? I mean, I don't need a select board to tell me. I mean, it's my office, right?
I believe that you can.
I mean,
Yes.
did you see my sign?
Any town can mandate, they can make up their own mandates, yes.
I mean,
As this is the only town building,
I would prefer that you do a town mandate for the town office for a mask. And you'll have to do it every 30 days.
Every 30 days.
I mean, once I can start opening windows, I don't care so much.
does that go
but
for
right now-
everybody or just people that, you know?
Well, like I said.
I know, John, I was just
Like
being
I said
funny.
I
to
just-
Ray the other day, you guys are the town leadership, and if you're gonna keep dropping like flies with COVID, you know, that's kinda, you know, and we're fortunate we haven't lost anyone.
We're only down 40%.
Yeah. I think that in this space, as the germ phobia police, I think that it should be mandated. That's my
Well,
own
it's
personal
just
opinion.
that I have researchers that come from all over the state. I don't know who they hang out with, and I can't ask them if they're vaccinated.
Do you have any problem with
Well,
No.
No?
I wear a mask all the time.
All right, I make
Do
a
it.
motion
it? Get
that
emotional.
anyone who enters in the town public offices would be required to wear a mask.
Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
I'd second that.
Okay, we have 2 seconds. All those in favor of imposing a mask mandate in the town office signify by stating your name and voting accordingly.
Terry
Brendan
Gates,
Churchill, aye.
Terry Gates, aye.
Josh Goss, aye.
Lance Lawyer, aye.
Okay. There you go.
It's
does
either
your
that or
sign state that
sanitized
it's
with
mandated?
something of at least 80 proof.
Now,
So
what does my sign say, Tammy? I forgot what it said.
So-
It's funny.
As to make sure that it happens, could you post a new sign that states that it is a town mandate for
Right
masks
underneath it.
to be worn in this building at all times? I know in Williston right now, if you do not, it is accompanied with a 50, a 100, I think it's 50,
They
250,
made it for,
500,
they made it for the whole,
the whole town.
right, so,
Really?
yeah, when you go into the store, it says Williston has a mask mandate.
Well, the governor did give each municipality the right to do that.
Well, it was funny, because at Christmas time, I was in one of the stores, and people would come in, and they'd look around, and then they'd be like, wait, is Williston mandate,
Yeah.
or is that South Burlington?
Yeah.
And it's like, just put it
Just
on.
wear the mask.
And guess what? It's cold out.
I
It
know.
helps, yeah. It's my new scarf.
Yes, sir. What?
All right, that brings us around to budget discussions. I think we still can have a couple discussions around, general budget.
Josh, as an item, did you guys talk about the audit, voting on that?
We have not talked about the audit yet.
Because
It's
you only
further
got
down.
one bid.
We don't have a number to put forth for it.
We have one
Okay, you only got
bid,
one bid in.
You have one quote.
and it's right here.
Do you have a number on that?
We do, we have an audit proposal.
You know, we're allowed to open just one, or,
Well, the
Yes,
day.
that's the only one we
They
can
emailed
say.
it.
I was gonna say it's
You
not.
by the day.
Yeah, today was our day.
Deadline.
okay. Wow, only one?
Only one responded.
And we got that last week. It was emailed to us.
Yeah,
Wow.
But this
Nobody
is
can
someone
call
that
it
does do it for other towns.
yeah, on the state, on the VSCC, if you print out like all the companies that do the audits for towns, this one came up a lot,
Okay.
which is why I included it in the list.
We do have a number there.
How much was it for?
I'm not gonna say the name, but of the company, but the audit proposal bid was for 19,000. That's actually less than I thought it was gonna come in at, to be honest with you.
It's a lot of money still.
It is, but.
So this would be for audit, we're looking forward to fiscal year 2023.
No, this would be for
They
the
would-
audit for the
They would audit
previous.
2022 in January.
No, this is an external audit for what years, please?
2022, it would be for this year. If it gets voted in, they would do the audit next January
Okay.
for this year.
So this audit doesn't go back.
From when it was last audited from an outside auditor?
That'd be like.
They're only gonna do
1,000
one?
a year.
But
No, that was
I didn't read his proposal,
2007,
but they're only gonna do a year.
They'll only do a year.
Yeah, the last year
That's what they always do.
we did an
Even
outside
Jason said
audit
that.
was the year I started, which was
Jason said they only do
2007.
a year.
By my memory, don't quote me on that, but it's gonna be close to that.
That's why I figured it was gonna be considerably higher, because I was thinking they were gonna do everything from to now.
Uh-huh.
I was wondering how come, I was gonna ask Jason, because somebody asked me this the other day, that, because that AMP, they have more than one office.
Did that sound about
wonder
right
why-
back in 2007, Kathy?
So.
Yeah, we had one
A
in
single audit is
2007.
required for any
And it
year
was done by
up to
AMP.
6,000 for one
Thank you.
major program and 4,000 for each additional program. Our fees. Huh, okay.
They thought theirs would be like 16.
Well, they were unable to submit. one,
I
so
know.
That didn't help us.
No, it did not.
All right. That gives us a number to put forth. That's where I look at it at that, right?
So
So is this going on this year's ballot?
Correct.
if you want the audit for next year,
Which I think we absolutely do.
We've received kind of pointed messages from different townspeople that it's over time to get it done.
Yes, I know.
We are all in agreement on that one.
Yeah.
and then the next time, I mean, if we're gonna decide that we want to, we don't have to decide like put it out to a vote to the town, but if we're gonna do it every 5 years, don't wait until December to decide, send out your bids.
You know, this is a good year to do it. I mean, God bless Vera and for what she's done to pull this town out of this hole that we've been in.
Yeah, but whoever
It's a
does
good
the
year to
audit
get an
is
audit
gonna be
done.
Auditing this year.
Right, we'll be
Yeah.
auditing 22.
But no, what I'm saying is next time,
yeah,
if you're gonna do
true.
it 5 years, so if
True.
they do 2022, then maybe you wanna do it again in what, 27? So earlier in 26 is when you wanna send out your bids, not 3 weeks before you need it.
Well,
Every 7 years.
It never got voted on either way.
None of them.
But it was-
There's
it was-
no vote. We went through all the town
Yeah.
reports. We
Yeah.
did not
So
vote.
it was
there
discussed
there was one
several
thing that-
times, but it was never
one thing that
voted.
But
said
did
should
we
happen.
say, I thought we said something about every 7.
That's when
But
I-
it was all under non-binding. There was no.
Right, no,
actual-
just in our
No, no, no,
discussions
no,
that
in
we
our
had.
discussion,
Yeah.
I'm saying, I thought we talked about 7, not
But I
5.
thought for FEMA money, you needed to have one like every 5.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
They prefer every 5.
but they accepted the internal audits this time. Another time, I don't know that they would, Terry.
Gotcha.
So after
But
they
going
do,
forward, you could always put a little extra money into the general fund for an audit rather than one huge lump sum. You got
Right.
5 years.
And so we put in $4,000 a year, it should,
4 or 5.
Yeah, and you can have
Probably
like a
five,
joint fund,
yeah.
and then you may only have to ask for a little bit more.
Yeah.
I mean,
Mm-hmm.
okay.
Now, in the future, if we get this audited next year, they come back again in 2027, will they be auditing from their previous audit till then?
I
Or
don't
will it
believe
just be that 1 year?
It's 1
Just
year.
1 year. That's what Jason said, they always would audit for 1 year.
Huh,
That almost feels like
that
it should
doesn't
happen
really
every
make sense.
freaking year.
We're not a large enough entity to afford being audited every year.
No, but. All right, so we have that bid, we can put that number in there as a line item. ARPA updates. Annie?
Well, I think I did the update really for last week, other than the fact that I'm waiting for League of Cities and Towns to put out their interpretation on what those final rules were. I believe we may have more expansive ways to use the money. And Mr. Cosgrove and I have been sending a message back and forth. They want to look at what that might mean for the fire department. And I'm looking at, possibly looking at some of their costs to plumb that building, as that is both a necessity and I believe a viable cost. What we're looking at is paying for things that are one time, not ongoing or recurring costs. So that's a great example of that. Plus, Mac has mentioned that the water district is looking at an automated monitoring system versus the mechanical monitoring system that we have now. So those are two things that people have talked about. Are we in a big rush to do this? No. We got a couple of years to spend the money. We also compare what we brought, what is in the bank now with other funds that are available, so we can do a matching grant. So we're going to look at some of those things. And I've got an appointment to talk to Todd about some of the needs for the fire and rescue in Bakersfield. Nothing really to report other than that I'm still taking information in from the League of Cities and Towns, and we'll probably do another information session at some time in the near future. So that's it for that.
Okay, good. I like the fact that the money's going to be used in our town.
I like that it's not something that we'll take on and then have to pay for down the road.
Brigham residents.
Tammy, I just forwarded you Doug Kennedy's revised version of the Brigham Academy market study.
Right now?
Mm-hmm.
You just did it?
I just did it.
Because the last time you sent me.
I don't, if it doesn't work, I'll come in and I'll, I
No,
printed
is that-
off the last one off my own one, but 58 pages
I know.
just about kills my,
Do you want to give us a abridged version?
abridged version of the market study. Basically, they're saying that they feel that there is a very good market for about 25 units in Brigham.
So they would not have to go with a three-story unit, three-story building. They could keep it 2 stories.
25 units, they probably will divide the gym up, yes.
Okay.
Also, they have been in there, I told you guys that they went in there with the engineers to look at it, and they were discouraged at the amount of vandalism that had occurred in between visits, the staircase and everything, and I
What?
informed them,
What happened to the staircase?
the railing, they ripped part of it down, one of them down. Mac is looking into getting that done.
Have we
We've all
thought
been-
about putting like game cameras or some sort
How
of
about shotgun
camera
traps?
so that we can
Sorry,
see
but
who's in
that's
there?
just plain,
I had video of,
it's just plain destructive behavior that we really don't need. It's counterproductive for, I don't need to go on, you know what I'm saying. The kids should know better than that. But anyhow, I informed them that the town was going to spend the money to cover up all the windows, and we were going to rent a lift to have it done. And they brought up, well, just cover up the broken ones. And I said, it's going to create just as I said before, an attractive nuisance, and they all agreed on that. So now of this committee are Paul Dreher, Doug Kennedy, Kathy Lavoie, Tim Smith. So those are the people I've been discussing it with.
I see where we did put a police report in. Mac did,
Mac
must be.
Mac took it, yeah.
Did our insurance say anything on it? Or,
Not my problem. Brenda's gonna take care of that one.
I haven't gotten that
Brenda, did you put in a insurance claim on that after Mac?
I didn't put it in yet. I really want to see if they will do a proactive approach to this to help us with the rest of the plywood. I want to talk to them before I file the report. The police gave Mac a number, I believe, is that right? And he forwarded that to me. So we now have a report number and, we have an inventory and, we're still not gonna hit, probably just gonna barely hit $1,000, but I wanna get them filed anyway. Because if there's more destruction after we do the initial repair. And I didn't know about the banister inside, so that may be an important addition, to that, if we can put a price on that. I don't know, I've been sick, Terry, I haven't done a whole hell of a lot, I apologize.
Oh, no,
That's
that's
one of the
fine.
things that got hanging.
Glad you're getting better.
Yeah, thanks.
All right, outside audit, we discussed, ambulance bid, discussed, set future agenda. Well, we have a meeting tomorrow. We've set that agenda. We'll also have another meeting, well, depending on how that goes, we may be able to plug in a number, correct? And sign tomorrow night, hopefully. Okay. Any others? Do we wanna, well, we've gotta look.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, just a couple things on town meeting day.
Yep.
Do we want to set a date now so that we can start advertising when information sessions will be available? And we did 2 last year. The first one was well attended, the second one not so much, but we had them both recorded, I believe, at that time. And again, we'll be able to record them. And people will be able to watch them, but I'd like to set a couple dates.
Has to be 10 days prior to, right?
Yes, correct. It has to be 10 days prior to,
It has to be within 10 days.
right. So it can be
You're only required to do one.
required to do one.
Let me find out when the school's doing theirs so you don't do that date.
Excellent, thank you.
This here, that building with Kurt Wescombe, did he
Can I
pay us for
answer
that?
another?
Okay.
He paid us $1,000 Okay.
Yep,
Yes, Mr. Chairman,
Yeah.
Mr. McCall.
yep, go ahead, Linda.
Under the other,
Under the other.
the cemetery commission has just put in for funds, but both of us met with the cemetery commission about concern on the size of the plots. And the plots are equivalent to taking care of 5 caskets, each plot. And with the increase of cremations, those are a large plot size, and that land is being used up quickly. And I know the cemetery commission thinks a large portion of the land across the road is theirs, but I'm not so sure about that. And they were surprised to learn that the Historical Society, Bakersfield Ends, and Tank were on the knoll of that property. And not a place you'd want to bury somebody. So I think there's a misunderstanding by the Cemetery Commission that their bylaws cannot be changed. And I believe they can by vote. So I think it's time to really look at the size of those plots.
Who's,
Linda, by the research that Mr. Ovitt and Mr. Ovitt mostly did on that, I am in agreement with you that the Town Hill property did not belong to the cemetery commission. Is that what you were saying?
That's what I'm saying, as I understand it.
I agree with you from
where the
what
common
research that I
school
read.
hill was?
This is
Yes,
from my
yeah.
mother from several years ago when she was on the cemetery commission.
Uh-huh.
And she said, way back, that road that goes down cut through a portion of the cemetery.
Yes.
And there's only a small strip on the south side of the road that still belongs to the cemetery. And you couldn't really define that unless you had it surveyed.
Yeah, that's,
Rest,
I agree with you, Linda. Not that it makes much difference, but I mean, I agree with you.
Yeah, I think that would be, that would have to be brought up at a cemetery commission meeting. I'm not sure when they hold their next ones, but I think
To change the bylaws, you
to
mean?
change the bylaws, correct, yeah, they would have to have a vote, and make a motion, have the vote to change the bylaws, at which point they could change the plot sizes.
Does the select board have anything to do with that?
Last time we spoke, we were very.
Are you saying, Linda, that people, that when
That's-
someone is cremated, they're
If you
taking a
look
bigger
in
lot than they need to?
state statutes, I believe the cemetery commission is
What I'm saying,
entirely
Terry, is,
separate
the
from the
plot
select board.
size
I
is
could be
for
wrong,
5
Josh, but I don't,
caskets.
from what I understand, I
And
think it is
you can-
entirely separate.
As Ron Marcotte will tell you, you can put several cremated persons into one plot space. And more people are being cremated. So they don't really need a 60-foot plot.
Gotcha.
You're gonna spread my ashes over on Oak Ridge, you're not gonna take up any room.
Geez,
Never mind.
you're gonna need
Yeah, so I think that would
plot
be
for me.
I think that would be a meeting or a issue to attend to at a cemetery commission meeting. As I was just speaking with Lance off the sidebar, it was brought to our attention, and with a little bit of looking into it that Lance did, the cemetery commission is a separate entity and is not controlled by the select board. It was made very clear to us that that's how it goes. A little more research, I think, would either confirm that, but this is a great issue that could be brought to their attention. And yes,
It has been.
okay. Are they just not willing to entertain the idea, or?
They think the bylaws are the bylaws and cannot be changed by town vote.
Well,
I agree, they can't be changed by town vote, but they can be changed by the cemetery commission. They can be resubmitted to the state.
Yeah, I mean,
Well, where did they come from in the first place, the bylaws?
the town comes up with bylaws and they're submitted to the state for
It
approval.
was the cemetery commission who came up with them,
Okay.
the original people, when it was
And
originally
it wasn't always a
deeded
cemetery commission.
to the cemetery commission. They created a set of bylaws to run the cemetery by, and that was, oh, Lord only
And the
knows.
select board assigned the cemetery commission. As I look through the history,
What year did that happen, Linda?
good question, Josh. I'll have to research that.
Okay.
Should be able to amend.
So does the cemetery come all the way up into the park?
No,
Okay.
the land on the front of the cemetery was given to the town as a common. So that's the village common. And there was at one time a fence between the common and the cemetery.
Okay.
Kathy, you look like you have another.
No, you wanted to know when the school was gonna have their.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes.
Wednesday before town meeting.
Wednesday before town meeting, so, okay.
Town meeting's on the 1st.
March 1st?
I thought
Town
that,
meeting is March 1st,
I thought that had to be on a
They
Tuesday
used- they
following a
used to say
Monday.
that.
So you're saying 23rd? 23rd
So
February?
Is
Wednesday
that Wednesday?
That
I
is
just opened the calendar.
Yes.
That's what it
I
is.
mean, I can ask
Is
Terry
what?
about that.
Wednesday, February 23rd.
February 23rd.
Do you need me for anything else? I need to get to the store before I go.
So the 22nd or the 24th. I could not tell you what I have going on either of those days.
I'd rather have the
Well, you can just
22nd.
Look and decide tomorrow, or
Yeah,
whatever.
so let's put that on
Don't
the
confuse
agenda,
me.
Tammy. Can we put that on the,
It's already up there.
okay,
This is school.
well, can we just,
Only to do, the only thing on there is to do what you guys said the other night.
What dates?
And are we doing 1 or 2?
What dates did you?
I think we were only doing
The
one.
only reason
Okay.
we were calling a special meeting.
Yep, no, that's fine.
What date did you suggest?
The 22nd,
Tuesday?
Tuesday, the 22nd?
I like that.
Okay.
Gives everyone plenty of time, and if we run into problems, we have time to have another meeting the next week.
Secondly, the only request I've had this year, and I said to run it by the select board, but they sent it to me, was Bertha Lamore for the town book dedication. You okay with that?
Oh, I'm sorry,
The
what?
only dedication I got, Bertha Lamore. It's already written, and I got a picture.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's,
So it works for me.
absolutely.
they owned the store for umpteen years here.
They did?
So, yes,
Bonus town meeting?
How old, and she was, how
Informational
old
meeting.
was she, 90?
Age 96.
We haven't got there yet, we're still.
What?
It said Bertha A. Lamore, age 96, passed away.
Oh my gosh, I didn't realize she was that. I thought she was like
22nd,
93, 94, 96.
Right.
So,
So she must have been our oldest resident as well.
Maybe.
Mr. Chairman, would you entertain a motion to adjourn?
we need to finalize the information on the meeting for the 22nd, and then I would,
22nd.
we
Information
we
meeting.
still have a couple budgetary things to finalize, sorry.
My thinking of that, because we did it last year, was we just run through the book. We run through exactly what's printed.
Are
Yep.
we doing,
I
are we
agree.
doing 7?
Well, that was the question, is 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock?
7.
Let's get out of there early.
So we have a motion for 6 and a motion for 7.
Can you be
Well,
there?
we have to realize that
When-
we're a
when can you be
commuting
there?
town.
When
A
can
lot
you
of
be there?
It's not about me, it's about, I already know about the budget. I want people to come in.
Yeah, but we need you there
I
to
think,
help
no, I
disseminate
know,
that
but I'm just
information.
saying, I think because we're a commuting town, 6 is too early for people that are traveling back from Burlington,
Okay,
Jericho.
so you're saying 7.
7.
That's
okay.
all I was asking.
All right.
I'm fine with 7 o'clock.
Yeah, 7's fine.
Yep. So there we have it. Budgetary, informational meeting only on the budget that is to be voted on at town meeting day. 7 o'clock on the 22nd.
Excellent.
Sounds good.
Thank
Okay,
you.
now, I'm hoping to do this.
Kathy, where's that school one held? It's Wednesday, the 23rd, but where?
Zoom.
Where do
I
they?
don't know, I just looked at last year's warning that we voted on, their ballot, and that it said Wednesday, they had a discussion on having their meeting the Wednesday before town meeting.
Excuse me.
It passed. I don't know where it's gonna be held.
Oh, okay.
The warning itself doesn't say, it only says when voting is, which is March 1st.
It brings up, is that in person and Zoom or just in? For the-
I think they're entertaining the same thing, Zoom.
I was gonna say, I don't think we have the,
I don't think we got the space, yeah.
for an in person. It's gonna have to be a Zoom
But I
meeting.
know they were entertaining the idea that they were actually gonna, every year it was gonna be in a separate town. I don't know where it was last year.
Yep. Originally, that was the idea.
Richford.
It was in
believe.
Montgomery one year, right?
Yep.
So I don't know.
Yes, John, it'll be very important for you to be there on the 22nd as the Zoom moderator, if you will.
Sure.
To field questions in the chat section
Absolutely.
that can be then read aloud, answered to,
Or consolidated.
or consolidated if we get multiple.
Several are asking the
Um,
same.
Yeah, if you could be, that would be a great help for us, thank you. All right, so I just wanted to roll through the general budget here. Everything looks to be in a line at this point, except for the generator, which would be the service contract. We only have $100 in there. That's not gonna be enough for a service contract.
About 5 times that.
I was
Did
gonna
we get a service contract?
No, but for him to look at one,
He'd
Who are
want-
we thinking of getting?
we were gonna
It
have
used-
to go through CAT.
It used to cost us 3 something to have it serviced.
Right, what's, who,
Huh?
Tom Croto, did you talk to him?
Yeah, Milton Cat used to do it, but we didn't renew the contract.
I almost feel like you just need to add another 0 on there.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna be $5,000, but I guarantee it's gonna probably be 2,500.
You think it'll be?
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. Well, it depends on the generator, what it needs.
Well, it depends on how many times it's serviced. You know, if it's serviced once a year or if it's serviced.
Oil.
So this isn't a one-time, we have to have them, this is if something goes wrong with it.
That too, but no, this is
No,
a service
Max says
contract. We have them come and,
No, it's a,
because
if something
it's
happens.
a school's responsibility to run that every month or so.
And
Okay.
it's our responsibility to make sure it's maintained yearly, so.
Correct.
So it needs to be serviced on a regular basis,
It's like
and
a
if anything happens.
Right, so they're coming in, they're actually coming in and doing a service.
That's what we've gotta set up.
They're gonna change the oil, change the filter,
Right,
check the
right.
engine out, make sure it runs good.
Right.
Boom.
Kick the
Fire,
tires.
run it, take readings, shut it down.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought, that's
Yeah.
what I thought.
So, I would have to agree with John.
Think
I
so,
think
cost
it's gonna
that.
be close to be 2,500.
Probably looking somewhere between 15 and 25
Really?
per year. Well,
What if we put
it's a
that
small
out?
engine, but you know
Why
what?
can't we put that out for bid?
You probably
You
could. But to
see
get a
if-
bid
Still
back
gotta
by-
set some money
No,
aside.
no, I'm saying, but
Yeah.
instead of just going to one, why couldn't we put it out for, I mean, I know we aren't gonna get a bid by
Yeah.
the time we need to have something in here, but,
Right.
Put out the bid, it depends on the size of the generator, and that's what I still don't know. And it's only because one of the things I do, mine's run every Tuesday at 10:30 a.m., transfer the load, and it's maintained every quarter.
well,
So-
does this one test Mac?
You have to run it once
Yeah.
every couple months.
Used to, but I don't know if that part of it's still working or not.
Is there a transfer switch with it now? That's
Yeah.
the other side, which, but.
There
that
is.
doesn't
Cause
maintain-
ours doesn't work, ours kicks on every
It did at
Tuesday.
one point, and when it worked, it had an automatic transfer switch. Power went out and vroom, starts up by itself, automatically transfers power to.
Yeah.
That's exactly how it works, yeah.
I think it has
So,
to, for loss of power at the school.
I don't know if it still works anymore, is what I'm saying.
They're not testing it, they wanna know. So the thing is this, if it's a smaller generator, you're not gonna pay as much. If it's like and we don't know, if it's like a 200 kilowatt generator, it costs more, mine's 800. So the one I run is expensive. So I'd probably put in 1,500, and you're probably gonna be, I'm saying 2,500, but I'm thinking it's smaller. If
I
it's,
don't know.
yeah, you need to know the size.
I don't know the key to getting the building, so.
You need to know the size, it's just a guess at that point. When was the last time it was maintained is the other thing, because they may make you bring this thing up to
Well, who
current
did that, Brian?
regs before they.
It was
do it.
Brian, right?
Brian, because Brian was also the custodian at the school at that time, I would imagine.
It's
right?
always been the custodian who's taking care of it.
Celeste did do it?
I think she had it, let them in and
Yeah.
did that, and I think after she got done, it went.
They never got looked at again.
Was
Key
that
is
5 years ago?
I don't think
God.
Brian did it.
That's
Yeah, probably.
The key is this, you need to make sure whoever you hire as the maintenance company, that they have some kind of experience in that size
Good,
generator. If
fine.
they're small, anybody can maintain them. But the
It
bigger
must still
generators-
work because we just had to knock power out not too long ago up here.
The other thing is, what's it use, diesel or regular? Because diesel has a tendency to get algae in it, and if it doesn't run enough, that algae will get sucked into the engine.
I don't think it's
I
diesel.
was gonna say, is that diesel or?
It is diesel.
So, just out of curiosity, Matt, are you treating the diesel with an anti-algae or an algicide?
He hasn't,
I'm not doing a thing. That's-
No, not you, I'm just saying, do you
I
know
don't
if
know, I
they?
would assume Clarence Brown, they're usually the ones that fill it.
Yeah.
Down here, they automatically put the treatment in.
Yeah, because if it sits any length of time, you build an algae. If it
Right,
gets sucked into the motors, you're done.
yeah.
Then it's a whole rebuild.
It would definitely be better, I think, to have Cat come up and look at it at least.
Yeah, called Tom, he was expecting your call, I warned him you were gonna call. Just call Tom, and
maybe we should
he'll give
put
you
somebody
at
in
least an
charge of
idea.
it.
I don't know the
to go
size, I don't know
at least
anything about
once
it.
a month,
Hoping he has
if
a
not
lot.
once a week.
Well, the town is supposed to, or the school is supposed to
Is it
School
go
more.
out and run it.
Well, I would think it would, they wouldn't have to go out and run it. I would think it
Well, no,
would be
I
on
mean,
an automatic
right,
transfer.
right. They're supposed to make sure that it's run.
They buy the fuel.
On a daily basis.
So
Or not
say-
daily, but once a week.
Right, like ours does it Tuesday morning
I
about
have
10:30.
more hours to.
They'll kick on to the, and it only stays on, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes maybe? And then it goes back to the,
Right, back to the
switches
grid.
back to the grid.
Yeah.
But,
I'm literally
Should give you the.
just looking for a number to put in that spot.
My contract's all.
yeah.
I mean, if we go
But I'd
2,500,
hate like heck to see that thing go to, I mean, that's not a cheap piece of
No.
equipment.
Yeah, so that was 2006.
Yeah.
So you gotta figure.
I would think it'd be in our best
quite a few years
interest
out
to-
there. You're looking at probably almost triple that.
2006, it was $574, $75 basically.
so if we put $2,500 in that place,
Probably
I-
more than enough.
I would rather have an extra $500 in there at the end of the day than be
Yeah,
looking for an
sure.
extra
Yeah,
$500.
You never know, if something might
Honestly.
break on it, you know, we gotta replace it.
Does it say
Well,
what
and
it
if
is?
we
That's what I'm
have,
trying
we
to
don't
find.
even know if the thing's running. Because we haven't had, nobody's checked it
I
or,
don't even know that, Terry.
that's what I just said. We don't
Yeah.
even know if it's running. Right now, we could be having to soak money into it because it's not even up and running.
You're right.
Exactly right. Contract, Olympian, so it's an Olympian D100P, so I'm guessing that's gonna probably be a 100 kilowatt. There it is, there's the make. Celeste Gagne.
Yeah.
Bought in
Yeah,
2005.
She was the custodian.
Oh, so it's not even that old. I thought it was older. I thought it was older than that.
Make and model.
No,
That's funny. This is not a young girl either.
No, it was government surplus. It was
Yeah.
offered through a FEMA contract.
wasn't it right? I feel like it was somewhere around the 911 time, but
In 2005, I think, is.
This would show in 2005.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So it's an Olympian D100P1. I mean, I'll look it up, but I'm pretty sure that's probably 100 kilowatt just because of the 100 in there.
Or was that, it was when we had some state of emergency. And they started, then they decided that everybody needed to have a place to
Right.
put everybody.
Generator, 20 volts, 400 amps. Single
So
phase.
that is,
You're pumping some power, right? You're going up to 240 volt outlets if that's what they sold.
Well, it needs
that
that
should be
revenue
2,500.
infrastructure for the school.
That was the,
other one?
that was the only thing in there at this point.
It's
So
not
we
a
did
small
Hatfield
unit.
then.
No.
Well, camp, I mean, that building's pretty good size, so.
It is.
I'll look it up.
And that's pretty much-
School junk at one time
Yeah.
too, all
Josh.
packed in around the generator.
I think
Oh,
you're
really?
I think you're gonna be high, but I think 2,500 is a good number.
Safe.
You don't even know what's wrong with it at the moment.
Yep.
That's what I said, we don't even know if it's running.
Yeah, true. It's supposed to run every week according to that, but I'll tell you what, as I was just saying to Lance, I have more hours on my generator from testing it than I ever did when the power went out.
Yeah,
And I like to keep it that way. But,
The only other thing I was looking at on the road thing, we have salaries in there. We don't need mine and Lance's name on there for any reason, do we? Those are just,
no.
those can be deleted, right?
What?
My name and your name
On what?
on the salaries.
On road crew.
Yeah, it's just,
No,
yeah.
it's just that, we were both paid out of that.
Right,
a small
so,
amount.
yeah. And the only other thing that was highlighted was FEMA, and that was at 0 because that's what comes in goes out type of thing, right? Correct. So that one's not needed. Okay. I don't foresee,
out of town.
Josh,
yes,
are you gonna do the letter for the book this year?
I was really hoping somebody else would volunteer to do that one.
Well,
It's not that, it's
I
not
did
that I
it
don't,
for,
it's not that I don't like
I
it.
did it last
I did
year.
it for 12 years, Terry did it for 2.
Yep,
She can't have done it for 2. She's only been here 1.
I did the first year.
She did 2 years.
How many of you
You've
did?
done it how many times, Chuck?
Yeah, exactly.
What's that, Brenda?
Is it don't look at me?
Exactly who I was looking at. I can look at it and see what's.
I did it for 12 consecutive years.
Oh, I'm not saying that I can't write it. I'm
That's
just
the
saying that
one
when
that
you
the-
read it, you may be like, what in the hell is this guy drinking?
What do you mean I'm gonna write that? Yeah? And it's stuck.
All right, I don't
Just a
see.
little overview of what we've done over the year.
Yeah.
Okay, I
You
don't
can add
see.
a couple things like town, you know, things
Just
that
go
have
back in
happened
the
in
past
town.
books and read them.
Yes, that's what I did.
Yep.
And you get the general gist of what
I don't
goes
see
in it.
anything other here besides that generator and taking our names off that side. Cause FEMA is 0, doesn't matter. I don't see anything else that needs to be, I think we can easily take these numbers tomorrow and put them in the book. After our meeting.
Now you don't have a motion to adjourn?
Second.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Wait.
Aye.
Brenda Churchill votes aye.
Terry
Okay.
Gates, aye.
Josh Goss, aye.
Lance Lawyer, aye.
Motion carries.